Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Shelbyville Baseball. And we've got the coach with us, the main man, Coach Jones. And we're going to talk Shelbyville Baseball. But right now, we're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsor. And it's been a minute, so Coach and I got a lot to go over, and we'll be right back.
What you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Welcome back, everybody, to Shelbyville Baseball with Coach Jones, and I'm Bill Anderson, and we're going to talk a little Shelbyville baseball. Coach, due to weather, I think I was sick one time. I think you were sick one time. We've got nothing but rain and makeup games. We're behind.
Yeah, it's been a crazy spring, and of course, most springs are. But between weather, makeup games, and moving things around, and it's been an interesting spring. But we went 2 weeks ago with. We didn't get a game the whole week. It rained basically the entire week. We lost 2 games with Warren County that we made one up last week, and we've got another one this past week, and we've got another one next week. We've got to make up with them. But yeah, it's been a wild and Willie spring.
Well, Coach, I want to go back to the tournament where we went over there to South Pittsburgh. Played really well, I thought, in the tournament. We beat Tennessee Monarchs 13-1, beat South Pittsburgh 7-5. Beat Marion County 10-1, and then DeKalb County, that was a big comeback. Can you talk a little bit about that one? You won 7-6, but the boys really had some adversity and had to come back late in the ball game.
They did. It was a good game. I mean, that DeKalb, their record, you look at it, it's not that great, but those guys can play. And that was the fourth game of the weekend. We were a little low with our pitching staff, but our guys threw well. It was just one of those games. It was a fun game. It was back and forth. We were behind early. Came back, stayed in the game. We ended up winning it. Caden Duggan ended up getting a walk-off single to win the game for us. That was a good weekend, and that was the weekend coming off of 2 tough district losses with Coffee County. And again, we talked earlier in the year that in order to find out who your team is, you have to go through adversity, and you have to go through where your kids are struggling. And we were struggling. I mean, we were at that point. We were 0-4 in the district. We had lost some games. I felt like both games against Coffee County. I don't mean this disrespectful to Coffee County, but they didn't beat us. We beat ourselves. And we were reeling a little bit, and we had some things we had to figure out. And went into that weekend, and the kids just they played well, and since that weekend on, they've kind of loosened up. And I feel like we're getting better and getting stronger as the spring has rolled along.
Then on the Saturday, you played Franklin County, got another good win, 9-6. Was that at Franklin County?
That was here. That one was here. And yeah, that was Franklin County's good team. Coach Crosland does an excellent job with that group. And that again, just another solid non-district win to kind of start building momentum as we approach, getting back into district play.
Now we're on a bit of a roll. We won about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 time in a row. And we're 0 in the district. But then at that point, we come back with a game with Columbia, and I believe it's 2-2 at the end of 7 innings, and it goes 10 innings, correct?
Yes.
Now, something a little strange happens in this game, Coach. Right. You've got a pitch count, I think, of 120 pitches. Yes, Columbia, which is, I guess, the best pitcher in our region, is the Columbia kid. He's good.
He was lights out. And let me back up too. In the course of that game, that was Stephen Bobo got the start, and it was a pitcher's duel. We scored 2 in the 3rd inning, and they came back and scored 1 in I think it was the 5th. It was a 2-1 game in the 7th inning. They ended up scoring 1 in the 7th to tie it. We had an opportunity actually to win it in the bottom of the 7th. That's when they made the pitching change. The sharp kid that had started the game, and when they made the change, we didn't. I knew going into the 7th inning, I think he was right at. I don't remember. I think he was 105, 107. I knew where he was going into the 7th inning, and then as the 7th inning got along, didn't really pay a lot of attention. And then we had Nick Johnson up with the runner on, and he actually had a great at bat, hit a barrel a single up, and they pulled the sharp kid, and then after they pulled him, went back and looked at the pitch count, and he was at 121. And it was an honest mistake by Coach Simlar. You know, he's a first-year coach, but he does a tremendous job with his kids. You know, I admire how
At
his
that
kids
point,
act.
technically, Coach, the game's sort of over. Isn't it? Or is it?
Well, no, it's an appeal process, and
Okay.
this is the first time that I've dealt with a pitch count violation, and I was actually unsure. So at the time, I didn't go. He had already pulled him. I knew that we had him at 121. I didn't say anything to that because I'm just hoping we just win the ball game.
Right.
You know, I'm just at that point. I'm just worried about winning the ball game. So it goes 9 innings. We have a rough top half of the ninth. They end up putting a 6 spot up. They ended up the score at the end was 8-2. Well, after the game, I talked to Coach Simlar and told him that, you know, we had him at 121 and they had him at 119. It was a complete honest mistake on his end. It was not anything malicious that he was trying to get away with anything at all. We went back and looked at it, and it was they were at 121. So they did everything the right way. They self-reported to the TSSAA, and the ruling on that is it's a 1-game suspension for the coach, a $50 fine, which the big one for us was it was a win for us.
So it's a win for us. Win streak continues.
Yeah.
Now, the reason behind the pitch count, let's explain this to the folks out here. This is to safeguard the kids, correct?
100%.
That way you're not pitching a kid and ruining his arm with 150 pitches or something.
Right.
Correct?
And, you know, years ago, there would be times where kids would roll out and there was no pitch count limits. And I'd seen coaches throw kids 160, 170 pitches, which, to be honest, is criminal. And again, I'm not going back to Coach Simlar. He was abiding by what he thought was a policy. They just lost track of the pitch count.
But the rule of thumb would be when you've got a kid that's at 110 or 105, you're aware of it. You go ahead, just be safe. And
we've got 3 different safeguards. We've got a clicker, we've got Game Changer, and then we've got a chart in the dugout that keeps track of them, just to make sure. And I'll be honest, I don't. And as soon as I say that, I'll have a kid that will run up to 117, 118. But we very rarely this year, I think that the furthest that we've run a kid to is 107. But if they're getting close, once they get to the 110 range, you're getting all 3 books and you're comparing and you're making sure. And then I'm even, you know, if I get above 110, I'm probably going to go over to the other coach with what I've got and make sure he's got the same thing. And again, that's part of you learn that as you go.
Next day we got to play Columbia again. Again, it goes 10 innings.
Yeah, it was
this game. I think you're down 4-0 in the 7th, right?
It was a really interesting game. You know, we came in and, you know, we were competing. Palmer Edwards had gotten the start. They scored 2 in the first. We throw the ball around a little bit in the first inning. They ended up putting 2 runs up, and I think they put 2 up in the 4th. Offensively, you know, we put some good at bats together. We would have base runners on, but we just couldn't cross. We couldn't get a score. So we go into the top of the 7th, and we're down 4-0. And we go into what we call gray. We're taking till we get a strike. They bring a relief pitcher in, and he's struggling in the strike zone a little bit, and we end up getting runners on, end up getting bases loaded with no outs. Score a couple runs, get a big hit. Next thing you know, we score 4 runs in the 7th inning, make it 4-4, and then, you know, we go to the 10th, and in that process, you know, we bring in a freshman pitcher who hasn't thrown in a varsity game or hadn't thrown in a district game all year, in Blake Bone, and he throws outstanding scoreless baseball for 2 innings, and then we bring in Ashton Worley, who's another freshman, throws another scoreless inning against them, and then we put together 3 runs in the top of the 10th and hold them and end up winning that one 7-4. So yeah, that was a big win. And we went from we'll talk about Warren County and then kind of talk about you go ahead and go into.
Oh yeah, we can get Warren County up too. But what was tough for you is that's 2 straight games of 10-inning baseball.
Yes,
and that's hard on your arms and everybody.
Hard on bodies, arms, sleep patterns, everything. Yeah, our kids were worn out, and we had to turn around because of a rain out we had early in the year. We had to turn around the very next night and go to Warren County and play them. And Phil King does a tremendous job. He's a good friend of mine. I have an immense amount of respect for what he does. And you know, he's got a good program. But we go down there, and Karsten Williams got the start in that game and was, you know, threw a 1-hitter. The first kid hit a single on the first at bat, and then he didn't give up another hit the rest of the game. We ended up, our kids, you know, we played played well defensively. We played well offensively. We ended up winning that one 4-0. And we go coming into last week, you're 0-4 in district, and now all of a sudden you're looking at 3-4. And again, the way that the district is set up in the district tournament, I don't know. Seeding wise, the 1 and the 2 seed definitely have the advantage, because when you get to the district tournament, the 1 seed is going to be a host site, and there's going to be 3 teams. I think you've got the 1. You'll have 1, 4, and 6, and 1 pool at the one site, and then you're going to have, what is it? You would have 2, 3, and 5 in the 2 seed site. So, but other than the 1 and 2 seed, I don't know that there's a big advantage. But we're at this point, we have an opportunity to put ourselves, as far as seeding for the tournament, in a much better position than where we were a week ago.
Coach, just a minute ago, you mentioned Coach Williams' son. Yeah. He's on a tear hitting the baseball, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just, we not
only is he pitching, but I mean, he's really hitting well right now.
He's seeing the baseball, and he's catching a lot of barrels. And he's, and I've told.
So we're glad Coach Williams isn't here, because we're bragging about the boys.
Well, yeah,
we can do that. Coach Williams,
absolutely. And Carson is a special young man. He's endured a lot. I'm not going to get into, but he's endured a lot from his sophomore year to his senior year that has made him, when he moves on and plays college baseball, he's going to be the most mentally tough kid probably that any coach has ever seen, because of things that he's had to deal with here. But he's a special kid and a special player. And we've also, we've had some other kids around him. Nick Johnson has had one heck of a year. He's made some plays at third this year over the course of the year that just, are phenomenal. And when Nick is feeling good about what he's doing, he's as good as any player around. We've had Nick Hopper's had, he struggled offensively a little bit, but he had a couple of big hits last week for us. Palmer Edwards has been really good for us on the mound and in the field and at the plate. We got Kyler back, which has been.
I was going to bring that up.
That's been a huge.
He came back the weekend of that tournament we were talking about earlier, didn't he? What kind of a momentum boost did just having him there?
It was huge. I mean, it was just the fact that he was out there and playing. He actually, it was that weekend. He had a great weekend. I mean, offensively, defensively, and he played. And I checked when we were going into it. I'll be honest, I was scared to death. I didn't know, how we were going to do it, what it was going to look like. And I told him going into it, we'll look at playing you 2 games this weekend, just kind of say, well, he played all 4 games. Every time I asked him, he had some hits, and had some big hits. Looked like he hadn't missed the beat. Yes. And it's
absolutely amazing.
And it's just, again, you talk about, you put everything in perspective. That's made this year a great year. It's great to have him back. But and let me back up too and talk about another kid. When in his absence, we were looking around. We had to have another outfielder during that time, and now that he's back, we have to have that 4th outfielder, because we got 2 of them that pitch. Another kid that I'm just beyond proud of is Caden Duggan. Caden, coming into the year, we really didn't know. We had several kids in the mix for that other position, and it was just through competition. He ended up winning that position, and he has done such a good job. He epitomizes everything that this program is. When he came in, phenomenal kid. But I'll be honest, as a baseball player, his freshman year, and I think he would not get mad at me for saying this, he wasn't very good. But he had a tremendous heart, and he had a tremendous work ethic. And he continued to work, and he's continued to do things the right way. A kid like that, to me, just epitomizes every reason why I coach, and every reason, what you want your program to represent. It's kids like Caden.
It's amazing to see a 9th grader in one spot.
Yes.
And to see what they become.
And on top of that, you watch that kid walk around now, it's night and day. His shoulders used to be a little slumped, and
right.
Now he walks around not arrogant, but his chest is out a little more. His eyes, when he talks to you, can just tell he's a kid that absolutely believes in what he's doing. And those are, like I said, that's been a fun process as well. But going back to Kyler, it's regardless of what happens this year, I don't, baseball is a funny thing. Hopefully we move on to the district tournament, and we move on and have a chance to go to the regional and sectional and get to the state. But regardless, to have him back out there on that field with us, and to be able to go through this journey with us, And just to be able to have him here, period,
Right.
is this. It makes this year a plus regardless.
Let's hear a quick break from our sponsor, and then we're going to talk from Dennis Young. Then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about this weekend, next week, and finishing up the season. We'll be right back.
What you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency, insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
Welcome back to Shelbyville Baseball. I'm Bill Anderson. Coach Jones right beside me. And Coach, you got a busy weekend in several aspects. You're going, I think it's at Cleveland. You're going to play Bradley Central, and you're going to play Cleveland tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Prom
Mm-hmm.
is tonight.
Mm-hmm.
How'd that happen, Coach?
Well, it's nobody's. We had scheduled this tournament back last spring, and it was a Friday-Saturday deal, and then the venue of prom ended up getting changed, and they had to move it, and it was just circumstance. They ended up having to put it on a Friday night. We actually had moved it. We were supposed to go to Chattanooga last night and play 2 games there, but I'd called the coach excited last week when I knew we had Warren County before we had played the marathon games this week, because there was no way we could have gone and played yesterday. But yeah, so we turn around after playing essentially 4 district games this week with the extra innings. They have today off or yesterday off. Today they have the prom. Tomorrow we roll out at 8:00 in the morning and go down and play Cleveland.
How you gonna get them kids to bed tonight?
Well, we told them they better get home and get to bed. I mean, just I'm hoping
facility open and have them in the facility and lock the doors and get the sleeping bags out.
And this is the great thing about tomorrow. None of our varsity guys are going to play against Cleveland. I'm giving them rest. They've earned it and they deserve it. And our young guys, the thing with the weather, it's been pushed back. We try to play 3 or 4 JV games a week, and this week we haven't played one.
So that gives them a chance.
So
to play.
they're going to get an opportunity to go out tomorrow, and then they're going to play against Cleveland. And then hopefully, our guys will be woke up enough for the second game, because we're going to play a very good Bradley team. And if they're not, it's going to be a rough day, because I've got a feeling our guys are going to be ready to play. But it's rough circumstances. This is you talk about getting uncomfortable, putting yourself in a position where being comfortable with the uncomfortable. And tomorrow's going to be one of those, because we're behind the 8 ball. Our kids are worn out. They're going to certainly be worn out tomorrow after prom. But I'm excited to see how we respond to it. And again, it's going to be fun to watch our young guys to get to step out and actually play in a varsity game.
Sure.
And then it's going
to be
experience. Yes, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting to see how our guys, after the week that we've had this week in prom, how they respond and playing the game against Bradley tomorrow.
All right, coming up this week, we got Spring Hill at Spring Hill, I think on Monday, here at home on Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
What do you know about Spring Hill?
They're very good. Paul Lamb, who's their head coach, again, got tremendous respect for him. We have really good coaches in this district, and Coach Lamb does a tremendous job with that group, and this is a good team. I know their one on the mound is going to be really good. That's another thing in this district. We've got really good pitching, and this kid is probably as good as Sharp, who we saw at Columbia. So we're going to roll Stephen out on, well, I say right now, and still we'll look at it probably Saturday night, just to kind of to line it up for sure. Because again, we're not 2 district games next week, we're 3. But right now the plan is we're probably going to go Stephen on Monday, Carson on Tuesday, and then Palmer on Wednesday against Warren County. So that's but again, sit down and really think about it tomorrow night and kind of get our pitching laid out for the week. That could change, but that's what we're going to be looking at with that. And it's a huge series at Spring Hill. Again, we talk about setting up for the district tournament. We have a chance to be in a pretty good spot. And I don't really want to talk about, I promise my coaches, I don't want to think ahead. And I don't want to think about what can happen if this or that. But, if we go out and if we can find a way to win on Monday, and then find a way to win on Tuesday, and find a way to beat Warren County on Wednesday, we'll be set up okay in the district tournament. But that's a tall task to get to.
Actually, We got Warren County here this time.
That's
played them
correct.
up there. So this will be here, and it will be on Wednesday or Thursday.
That's going to be on Wednesday. That's going to be on Wednesday.
So you're playing Monday, Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Same as we did last week. Because and by the way, the Spring Hill game, when we go down there on Monday, it was originally scheduled, I think, at 6:30. We moved that up earlier. They had some things going on, so we're going to play that game at 5 o'clock on Monday.
On Monday at 5.
And then when we come here, we're going to play a JV varsity. We're going to do a JV at 4:30, and then the varsity will be immediately following that ball game.
All right, good.
And then Wednesday we've got Warren County here.
Looking at the district the way it sits right now, Lincoln County's leading the district at 6-2. Actually, now with the forfeit and everything, Spring Hill is second in the district at 5-3. Columbia's 4-4. Coffee's 4-4. You're 3-4. 3-4. Warren's 1-6. So those, like you said, not to look ahead, but the seeding here could be quite different.
It could be. There's no way, and it's really.
You may not know off the top of your head. I wonder who Coffee County's got this week.
They've got Columbia.
That'll be interesting because Columbia's got the one really good pitcher.
Absolutely, and that's that series is going to be interesting. Lincoln County, Warren County play, and then our series with Spring Hill, and then turn around and play Warren County is going to be interesting. And like I said, you can look at that, and there's all kinds of different scenarios that can play out. And our focus is going to be Monday night. Let's go take care of business against Spring Hill, and then we'll see where we're at on Tuesday.
So my question to you is, when the tournament starts, and let's say Lincoln County, let's just say if they win the district, their 3 games will be at Lincoln County, correct?
Correct. The tournament, it will be, again, it'll be the 1, the 4, and the 6 seed.
And
will
the
be
2 seed will be at home and host as well.
The 2 seed will be at home
as
well.
That's your 2 hosts.
Yep, you would have the 2, 3, and 5 playing in one pool at the 2 site. And then the winner of the 1 seed site and the winner of the 2 seed site will play in a 1-game championship. Doesn't matter if they have a loss from their other place or not. And because basically once you get to the championship game, both 2 teams make it to the region. Whatever 2 teams make it to the championship will be in the region. And the championship game essentially, it's for the district championship, but it's also for who will get to host the region and who will be on the road in the region.
So is it an advantage also that you're not only playing at home as a 1 or 2? I'm assuming that the lower seeds play each other to play you, correct?
The 2 lower seeds will play, and then the winner of that will play either the 1 or the 2 seed.
So that's an advantage to the 1 or 2 seed. Not only are you at home, you're not having to play a game. The other teams play, and then they have to play you.
And let me back up. And I said that wrong, because the 3-team double elimination is a little confusing. The loser of that game will play the 1 seed, or the 2 seed, whichever one they're at, and then you go.
Then you're eliminated because you have to. That's the thing about baseball; it's not one and done; it's double elimination.
You get double. It's a double elimination, and then of course, if you advance to the region, then you get to where there's 4 teams, a double elimination. Then if you advance to the sectional, then you've got 2 teams. That's a best of 3 series.
Okay.
So it's and that
first 2 wins, not 2 losses. The first 1 2 games.
First 1 2 games. Okay. Yes, sir.
All right, great, Coach. Looking forward to it. Good luck with prom, getting everybody in tonight.
Yeah, I'm hoping they got baseball on their mind about midnight tonight and get the.
I can assure you, Todd Bobo's boys going to be in there. Coach Jones, I'm Bill Anderson. We're going to try to do this again, hopefully end of next week, and then come into the tournament and get this thing back on the road. Maybe the weather cooperates and we don't have makeup games and me sick, you sick.
Looking at the extended forecast, we look okay. This is Tennessee weather, and it can change day to day. So we'll see what happens.
But the rain was supposed to stop this morning, and it looks like it could rain right now out there.
Again, this great Tennessee weather.
Absolutely.
Don't like it, stick around another day.
Hey, be sure to check us out in the morning at 9 o'clock. We've got a special guest tomorrow. We're going to have Coach Vincent Turner, the AD at Motlow, Austin P legend. He's going to be on with us as our special guest in the morning. So I invite you to come back here at 9 o'clock in the morning for the Bedford County Sports Live. Coach Jones, I'm Bill Anderson. Get out and support the Golden Eagles, and let's hope we get some district wins this week.